Could you imagine a situation when after a busy day, you come home and you want to go out on a date with your partner, and suddenly Siri takes over all the planning, including booking reservations for your favorite restaurant? You may not agree, but Apple is revamping Siri by investing in more user-friendly AI technologies. Let's see more about this. While everyone was going crazy over ChatGPT, Apple had been playing around with concepts similar to it long before it was released. In 2020, the company put together a team to build foundational models with the aim of creating conversational AI that was similar to ChatGPT, but focused on device machine learning and privacy. The team leader and other 16 members are former Google engineers. John Andrea was Google's former chief of machine intelligence research and search. In the middle of 2023, Bloomberg revealed that Apple had developed a sizable language model known as Ajax GPT. It works better than GPT 3.5, yet it's comparable to Google's Lambda or ChatGPT. Ajax, which was first built in 2022, is designed to create large language models and runs on Google Cloud. Ajax is built on Google JAX, a framework created to accelerate machine learning research. In simple words, you could say that JAX is a Python library that lets you write codes based on GPUs and TPUs. They're essential in training large language models as they can handle huge amounts of data and complex mathematical operations. Why do you think Apple used Google's JAX for its AI chatbot? JAX is flexible and powerful and lets you run codes on different devices with ease. Also, it can calculate gradients essential for improving neural networks in large language models or LLMs. It's also possible that by using JAX, Apple may want to use Google's cloud tools and AI expertise. Right now, access to Apple's chatbot is limited within Apple, and sources say that Apple has multiple teams working on the project, which include addressing privacy implications. Some Apple employees believe that Apple could announce a significant AI announcement as early as 2024. Apple is known for its strict security and privacy policies, and a data breach is the last thing the company wants. As AI generative tools can create fake news and videos, Apple has been cautious about developing its chatbot. At first, the chatbot could be tested by only a few Apple employees, and they use the chatbot for various purposes, creating mock-ups for product launches or helping researchers summarize research articles. These testers then need approval from higher-ups. Let's talk about Siri. In 2010, Siri was acquired by Apple, and a year later, the system was integrated into the iPhone. Since then, users have been frustrated by Siri, which is ironic considering that at the time, Apple was far ahead of the curve in terms of voice assistants. I won't go into too much detail about how Apple plans to improve Siri, but first, let's talk about the problem with Siri and why it leaves so much to be desired. The Siri team at Apple has deteriorated into a dumpster fire over the past 5 years or so. Employees and management would dispute angrily over the assistant's direction, and in the end, little real progress was accomplished, according to a shocking story that surfaced in April 2023. Here's an overview of the issues within the Siri group. The tools that Siri engineers needed to see how many people used Siri and how frequently they used it. To make Siri better, engineers would beg for more data, but the leadership would not listen. Apple executives felt that having a large AI model run on a server would put Apple's efforts at a disadvantage if future advances of Siri were made on devices without a network connection. Apple executives rejected back-and-forth responses to Siri as being too hard to manage. Tim Cook and other senior executives declined to have AI create their comments. Instead, they assigned a group of 20 writers to provide pre-written, prepared responses. That probably clarifies a lot. Generic AI solutions are in direct opposition to Apple's fixation with tight control over the user experience. In 2019, Apple's design team repeatedly rejected a feature that would have allowed consumers to submit problems or concerns with Siri's machine learning. Why was this choice made? The engineers were virtually operating unthinkably and were unable to make improvements to the system. Higher management wanted Siri to be the all-knowing entity that she was, but gradually, resentment grew and workers started to leave Apple because they were afraid of making mistakes and were too slow to make choices about AI. Disgruntled engineers soon left the business to work on huge language models at Google despite Tim Cook's pleas for them to stay. An attempt was even made to completely recreate Siri with the Blackbird project. The project's goal was to make Siri faster, lighter, and more modular, but it was shelved by two senior leaders on the Siri team who supported their project Siri X, which only concentrated on moving Siri's processing to a single device. The remainder of the Blackbird project was abandoned, and just when he thought things couldn't get any worse, the team working on Apple's mixed reality headset, the Vision Pro, reportedly considered creating their voice system. You can tell that something is wrong when you hear this. All of these issues explain why Siri isn't doing so well. It's not for lack of effort, there was just too much friction within the group. And to compound the wound, one of Siri's most often used phrases these days seems to be, "Sorry, I don't understand," or "Here are some results I found on the web." So what does this mean for the future of Siri? Before we go any further, I just wanted to quickly thank today's sponsor, Brilliant Apple. It's interesting to see how Apple is entering the AI space. The forthcoming iOS 18 may bring major improvements to the iPhone, according to Mark Gurman's Power On newsletter. However, a report by The Information suggests that Apple plans to use large language models to make Siri smarter. This could only make Siri even more impressive. If this turns out to be true, it would be a huge step for Siri, but it also means that the days of the Rabbit R1 are numbered even sooner than I had originally thought. Even the AI companies that Apple bought on their shopping spree point to a significant push for Siri. Since there have been disputes within the Siri team, these developments may come as a relief to Apple and Siri users everywhere. As of right now, we know that Apple purchased Inductive to enhance Siri's data voices to help Siri understand natural language and pool string. Speaking of which, Apple has a huge advantage over its rivals because it already has over 1 billion devices in customers' hands. With this in mind, Apple can now deploy on-device or Edge AI, unlike cloud computing, for massive language models. Edge AI operates on the gadget, doing away with the requirement for cloud servers or an internet connection. This can provide AI computing with faster, more secure, and more dependable performance. Apple spent $200 million acquiring Xnor AI in order to enhance its on-device processing capabilities. As we all know, Apple currently uses ARM-based chips which specifically designed neural processing units for their laptops, watches, phones, and tablets. It's a great position for Apple to be in for on-device AI systems, as having complete control over both hardware and software components gives a tighter integration and efficiency than the competition. This aligns with the philosophy of computer science pioneer and visionary Alan Kay, who once said, "People who are serious about software should make their hardware." Finally, on-device large language models. On-device large language models have been created before, but they're unfinished and not ready for prime time. However, Apple researchers may have cracked the code and managed to fit a large language model into a MacBook, and not only that, but it runs 4 to 25 times faster than standard models, depending on whether it's GPU or CPU focused. The researchers published a paper on the subject and used a few ingenious tricks to achieve this, such as storing the model in the device's flash memory rather than RAM. It may sound impossible, but they managed to run models that are 2 times larger than the computer's physical memory. Apple has its approach when it comes to AI. It seems like they're in no hurry and want to introduce their chatbot to their products and services slowly. This way, they can make sure it fits well and doesn't compromise Apple's quality. For example, they may incorporate it in Siri, which has lost its fame among users, to make it more human-like and customize interactions to individual needs. That's all for now, you guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it entertaining, then don't forget to hit that like button right there. And if you want to stay updated with more great content like this, then do be sure to subscribe to our channel by clicking the red button and just ringing the notification bell so you never miss any future content from us. Your support means the world to us.